Cruz is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to start off with Mr. Errol. For the past decade, the FAA has met or nearly met its hiring goal for air traffic controllers. This year, the FAA hired 1,500 future controllers to go through the ATC Academy. Next year, that number will be 1,800. But 30% are likely to wash out. Add in retirements and other constraints, and how many controllers will we be at next year?
Thank you, Senator. Could you repeat the question? How many controllers total we have or higher?
How many will we be at next year?
As we continue certified controllers, we expect to be over 11,000 certified controllers, making our way up. We intend to continue to hire at our maximum current rate of 1,800 or slightly better in the near future.
So at this rate, it would take years for the FAA to hire enough controllers to meet the need, especially given that it is a multi-year process from initial hiring to becoming a fully certified controller. Would an additional ATC controller training facility help boost capacity and improve retention and performance of the workforce?
Senator, one of the challenges that we have, or the greatest challenge, is not the physical space or the amount of the academy. It's the number of retired controllers, either military or FAA, that are available to provide instruction and are willing to locate to where the region where the academy may be. Some of the strategies that we're trying to explore is augmenting the training in our current Oklahoma City Academy for upper radar classes out to other federal facilities and freeing up that finite number of instructors that are available to provide that instruction to focus on new hires at the Academy. So it's a delicate balance of trying to find the right qualified people to provide that training.
Thank you very much. Chair Homendy, thank you for being here today and staying on the subject of air traffic controllers. An OIG report says 77% of critical ATC facilities are understaffed, with New York Terminal Radar Approach Control at 54%. Given that a majority of the critical ATC facilities are understaffed, are you concerned about the impact of that on safety of the airspace?
Absolutely. I'm happy to continue.
Please.
Okay. I just wanted to be respectful of your time. Absolutely, I am worried about safety. What's happening from the staffing shortage is that air traffic controllers are being required to do mandatory overtime. And what happens with mandatory overtime? It ends up leading to fatigue and distraction, which is exactly what we're seeing as part of these incident investigations. And it all just comes down to the shortage of staffing.
You recently said that, quote, the FAA's system for certifying pilots and mechanics hasn't kept up with the science around mental health, let alone modern attitudes, and called it an open secret that current rules incentivize pilots to lie about their mental health history or avoid seeking help. Yesterday, I sent you a letter expressing my concern about this issue and asking what safety changes should be made. Does the FAA and the NTSB have a full understanding of how pervasive pilot mental health issues are?
If we just took CDC numbers of 1 in 5 U.S. adults live with a mental health challenge, that's about 58 million Americans. And then we look at FAA's civil airmen statistics, which show that there are about 757,000 pilots, including students, recreational, sport. Then you're looking at about 114,000 to 151,000 pilots that have mental health challenges. People are suffering in silence.
Captain Ambrosi, it's very concerning that ALPA and the FAA refused to comply with the National Academy study that Congress asked for in the 2018 FAA reauthorization. It is Congress's job to provide oversight of federal programs, and both the FAA and ALPA deliberately stood in the way of that by refusing to provide data owned by the federal government needed for the report. And I would urge ALPA to reconsider your refusal to cooperate. Turning to a question. In October, an Alaska Airlines pilot tried to crash an airplane. The pilot has claimed to have been suffering from mental issues and had taken psychedelic mushrooms in the days prior to the incident. Do you know when the Alaska Airlines pilot was last drug tested?
I do not.
Does ALPA support additional drug testing requirements for pilots to make sure that they haven't been abusing substances before they fly?
The ongoing drug testing program is reviewed regularly. I'm not an expert on the drug testing program, but pilots are one of the highest scrutinized professions out there. We go through regular drug testing, regular checks in training, line checks, line observations. So an extremely rare incident is this. I share your outrage at this specific incident. However, it calls for a panel to discuss mental health is what we should do.
So why did ALPA refuse to cooperate with the National Academy study that Congress had mandated?
So I think the HIMSS program is being conflated with pilot mental health. The HIMSS program is a occupational substance abuse and treatment program, and we actually did cooperate with the Academy. However, as the study notes, ALPA is not the owner of that database. So I received your letter yesterday. I'm happy to do more research on it and reply in writing and meet with your team to discuss further by the deadline.
Thank you. I appreciate that.